Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's the bottom line. Brought to you by Chaz's Logistics. That's right. We're here Monday night in Studio 02. We're going to give you a race recap of the weekend. Big Energy style. You know it. Always Big Energy style. Hope everybody's doing well on a Monday evening, right before Monday Night Football, right? We'll get you tuned up here and get you on the airwaves there so you can catch your Monday Night Football. Okay, let me get up here. My glasses on. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Elbows Up Dirt Productions proudly gives you the bottom line. Brought to you by Chaz's Logistics. That's right. Moving the freight up and down the highway all day and all night. Thank you, Chaz's Logistics. We'll put him right there. Look at that. Okay, let's get started. We're going to get through this. Here we go. Everybody's ready. First things first, East Coast Legends, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. East Coast Legends, Freezing Company. Brought to you by David H. Martin Excavating, 55-plus years in the business, multi-generational, family-owned, residential, commercial, agricultural, excavation, and utility service. You won't find a finer company out there to give you excavation and construction services. I can assure you that. Okay, moving on. Now, Dr. Krause's Summer Slam, the Hall Baker Memorial was at Path Valley this past weekend. That's right. We had 1,800 smackers on the line. Not to mention contingency money. That's right. There was a lot of contingency money, hard chargers, hard lucks, the whole 9 yards, okay? So $1,800. The cars, they came. There was a pile of them. That's right. So this is what we got. In that feature, it was 30 laps. We had Alex McCollum victorious, Tanner Jones second, Colton Freeze third, Jeremy Ott fourth, Scott Howden Schill rounded out the top 5. What a battle it was, I got to say, between McCollum, Jones, and Freeze, lap after lap. But in the end, McCollum parks it, I believe, in the 01, right, in the 01. He's got several dubs on the year, but what a battle that was. We see the East Coast Legends, Freezing Company, rolling back to Winchester, the action track in Winchester, Virginia, this coming weekend. That's right. They always run well there. They get a lot of cars. They do good on the 3/8 mile, and we've been there to cover them several times. They'll be back at Path Valley October 4th. On October 4th at around their last trip out in spring run. Points-wise, it looks like Colton Freeze sits atop of the points of East Coast Legends. So there you have it, your East Coast Legends weekly race roundup brought to you by David H. Martin and Excavating. Fred, how are we over there? Everything's good. Okay, let's get into the rest of it. Dan's Auto Repair, that's right. In the east side, downtown Rouserville, Dan's Auto Repair results coming at you right now. Look at that. I'm hitting them in the chair all night long. Can't miss. You know what I'm saying? Path Valley. We'll continue on with Path Valley. This is what we got. Wingless Sportsmen. We see Stan Warner victorious. Said it could be, might be, maybe was his last race, and he was victorious in it. I tell you, the guy was fired up, and he had a lot of people there in his corner cheering him on, so good for him. Jimmy Young in the 600s. I loved it. Jimmy Young parks it. We know Jimmy's been upside down a few times this year, bruised himself up. He knows what it's like not to have the best of luck, but I'll be damned, he had the luck he needed and the skill he needed to put her in victory lane this past Saturday night in the 600s. Marshall Labuda in the 270s. Thunder Cars. Aaron Updegraff, victorious. The 77 and 24, Kevin Bard. They door-to-door the last few laps. Ultimately, lap traffic played a role in it. Updegraff was able to get the dub. Good for him. Mike Malaire in the 305s. Our 305s were not our 305s, but the past 305s. They were there. He was victorious. Mike Malaire had a pretty bad wreck there, and I beat the Kenny Hefner machine in the 97. That was ugly. That was an ugly flip over in turn one. Middle 1 and 2 on the start. Well, halfway through. Hell, I'm getting all confused. Moving on. Winchester. That's right, Winchester. We've seen the limited late models there. How about this? The Mountaineer man, Gerald Davis from West by God ass kicking Virginia. That's right. Gerald Davis parks it in victory lane. David Kaiser puts the crate in the limiteds that night, runs second. Keith Coots runs third. Hobby stocks, it was Jason Wilkins. That guy's on a tear. I can tell you that right now. He cleans them up, eats them up. He takes care of business when he's at Winchester. He was victorious in the hobby stocks. Selinsgrove, here we go. Selinsgrove, Friday night, Sand Hill, Snyder County, okay? The playground of power. Twin 20s for super late models. That's right, twin 20s for super late models. 3,000 smackers each. If somebody won both, they got a little bit more bonus. Really never heard how much more that'd be. It really don't much matter because nobody won both of them. They were separate winners. First one, super late model, twin 20, number one. It was the truth, Greg Satterley. Man, Dylan Yoder was second, and you ought to seen that. Satterley ran him down. I got to be honest. I thought that was Dylan's race right to the end, but a slide job, you know from where. It was a slider, a clean slider. Satterley put on him and made the victorious pass, parked it in victory lane. Yoder finished second, respectively. Trevor Feathers, third. Super late model, twin 20, number two. Number two. There was an invert, okay, in Eckert. Guess what? He parks it in victory lane on the second one right there. Scrub is victorious. Andrew Yoder was second. Jeff Ryan and the Elbin Machine, the 92, ran third. So there you have it. Satterley and Eckert were your two winners. Now, they also had the 305s there. Ken Duke Jr. in the 67 was victorious. And the URC, Michael Walter the second. He won for the URC 358/360s. I got to tell you, I was actually kind of blown away. Ultimately, I don't follow sprint cars a whole lot. We know that. But the URC normally brings, I always thought, a pile of cars. There was 14. I was kind of thrown a little bit by that, I guess. I don't know. I just expected more cars. I thought that URC, was still really, really, really healthy in that regards. But, who am I, right? I'm not a sprint car guy. The hell with it. Clinton County. So they're up in Mill Hall, Pennsylvania. It's Fall Clash Super Late Model. That's right. Jimmy Bernheisel's Clash Motorsports, Fall Clash. I lost track of what they're on. Maybe five or six. I don't know. Neither here or there. Super Late Models on the third mile oval up there. We've seen Trevor Feathers victorious. Ziggy, he was second. Dylan Cece third. Brian Bernheisel fourth. And how about this? Ross the Boss Robinson making the long tow from Delaware. He rounded out your top five. It was good to see in the running order Derek Quaid back in action. He was there, so Derek Quaid was back in action. That was good to see. ULMS, they were at Latrobe. Weather was an issue. Night one, they had a little rain delay, actually a long one. Dan Angelico, I always say that wrong, Angelico, pardon me, Dan, if I'm saying it wrong. He won night one. That was his first ever ULMS victory. Night two was scrapped, so it rained Saturday night, and they moved it over to Sunday. So Ziegler rolls in on Sunday, apparently leads the distance a good ways, cuts a tire, I believe a left rear maybe. From what I understand, there was something on the track they thought they picked up and cut the tire. Obviously, he has to change the tire. Our new leader is Flying Ryan Montgomery. Monty, as I like to call him, he's victorious. He finishes out that day P1. So Ryan Montgomery, P1. There you have it. Him and Ziegler have been battling back and forth for the points there with ULMS and Zuver and company. We still good up there, Freddie? Okay, we're still good. Whew, here we go. Bedford. It was a DJ Troutman Memorial, okay? DJ Troutman Memorial, near and dear to a little bit of everyone's heart. That's right. Friday, it was the Modifieds. Modified Mafia was in town. That's right. Friday, we've seen Drake Troutman, victorious in the number 5 Modified. Falloway was second. Altabelli third. Dixon fourth. Fifth was Mitch Thomas in the 97. We switch gears, bump it over to Saturday. Modifieds, we see Troutman. That's right. We see Drake Troutman victorious on the big stage there at Bedford Fairgrounds Saturday night to honor his dad. Falloway, second. Arnold, third. Stremme, fourth. Altabelli, fifth. That's your top 5. So, what a way to go right there. Seriously, what a way to go for Drake Troutman there to honor his father and park it in victory lane both nights. Limited late models were on tap that night as well at the fairgrounds, and this is what we've seen. Lane Snook parked it in victory lane. Kyle Lear, Showtime in the 151 was second. Shoemaker third. Lowry fourth. there's a guy I haven't heard much out of, I haven't seen whatsoever, but he was fourth, Lowry. And then Gunnar Walls, that's right. Gunnar Walls, he rounded out your top 5. Strong run for him. He's been picking up speed week and week. So I look for him to see Victory Lane coming really soon. Pure Stocks, Kyle Beckett. Kyle Beckett, he parked at the Victory Lane at Bedford that night as well. Okay. Dog Holla, the Dog Pound. Okay, here we are. Limited late models. They had 19 entries at the Dog Pound, okay? So it went like this. P1, Showtime, Kyle Lear in the 151. That's right, Kyle Lear in the 151. Brian Benton ran second. Sean Shoemaker, P3. There was your podium. Lear, Benton, and Shoemaker. You know, Lear's got a couple dubs up there this year already. Crates, lo and behold, it was David Kaiser. That's right. Number 14 win on the year. Number 14 win on the year. I'm not sure how many up there at Dog Hollow, but 14 total wins on the year for David Kaiser. He parks it in Victory Lane at the Dog Pound. BAPS, Kevin Gobrecht Memorial. Okay, they had the Kevin Gobrecht Memorial. 410s, we seen Double D. Danny Dietrich, Brock Zierfoss was second. Freddie Raymer was third. They had the super sportsmen there, the wing super sportsmen. Kenny Atkins. Kenny Atkins was victorious. That's right. See his name float up a lot in them right there. He's been victorious a few times this year already. Now, we got Lincoln. They had nothing this weekend. Potomac, they had no show this weekend. Obviously, Port Royal's done for the year. Okay? So that left us, lo and behold, here, Williams Grove. Williams Grove, 410s, we seen Freddie Raymer. He won P1. Lance DeWeese, LD was second. Pittman was third. So Raymer, DeWeese, and Pittman at the Grove. That's how she laid out right there. Raymer, DeWeese, and Pittman. Good to see LD have a good run there. We all know that here in another 2 weeks, I believe, not this coming week, but yeah, 2 weeks, is World of Outlaws comes to town. That's right, at the Grove. World Outlaws comes to town. So we hope some of them PA Posse boys gets her nailed down and puts it to them. 358s at Williams Grove. Dylan Norris, again in that number 6. Dylan Norris, victorious and parks at P1 at Williams Grove in the 358 sprints. Flipping the paper. Always include in our PA Micro Midgets, okay? They were McGrew Big Motoplex at BAPS there, that's right. 300cc Maddox Wire. He wired the field, as we like to say. It's also his birthday that night. And, 300cc Maddox Wire. He was P1. Hunter Smith, P2. Good to see that. He was a podium. Apparently they run door to door right down to the end, or should I say Nerf bar to Nerf bar, right down to the end. So good for all them. Good for them. 500cc's Micro Midgets, Ryan Wells. Ryan Wells parked it in Victory Lane for the night. Ryan Wells. So you can see we're starting to get wound down with results. Racing is winding down, people. There's a lot of good money shows hanging out there yet to be had, and we'll talk about a few of them here in a second. A hot topic before we get to Who's Hot, right, by Ashley Yoder Designs. A hot topic around the pits pretty much everywhere in the non-sprint car world is about super late models, okay? Where are they going to be and how much you going to get of them? Yeah, it's a little bit of a discussion point, I got to say. Obviously, Hagerstown had them a little bit here, a little bit there. They're up in the air. I think Hagerstown's pretty much put a fork in it. It's done. Ceilings Grove is hanging in there. God bless them. They've been doing a great job this year. Port Royal is apparently trimming them down to 6 or less. So it's a little concerning. I got to be honest with you. I think it's a topic discussion in the dirt late model, super late model industry world. And, we had Gary Stuhler on here as a guest a couple weeks ago, and it was a hot topic there for him. You know, it's like there's 100 gazillion limiteds running around, which is fine. But super late models, it's either some people say it's because of pay, some people say it's because of manufacturer's costs, there's a lot of reasons, okay? But we got to try to figure that out. We got to promote and try to keep super late model racing alive and well without having to travel 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours out of the area. That ain't cutting it. It ain't cutting it, guys. I can tell you that right now. So I got to be honest. I got a lot of chips, a lot of faith in Ceilings Grove, continuing to bolster the super late models at Sand Hill. I do. Speaking of Sand Hill, let me get to Who's Hot. That's right. Let me get to that. Ashley Yoder Designs. That's right. Man, she does a great job with wraps, race car decals, signs, the whole 9 yards. Ashley Yoder, who's hot. Boom, hit the chair again. Here we go. Super late models will go with Trevor Feathers. He's been right around there getting the job done. Obviously, Kutztown winning Fall Clash. He picked up a victory at Clinton County, and he's obviously been a contender in all the others in between. So right now, Trevor Feathers, he's been running the man. I like to call it the man, right? Pete Cameron, the number 72. Usually pallid by Tyler Emery. Tyler Emery's obviously been out with medical. So Trevor Feathers, he's been the guy. He's it. He's been running that machine. Limited late models, we'll say with Snooki. You got to give it where to get. Getting's good. I mean, Lane's, he's getting the job done, okay? He's getting it done. I got to say honorable mention, we'll go with Showtime in the 151, Kyle Lear. You know, he could get real hot here soon. He's been, he racked one up at the Dog Pound here this past weekend, and, he's racked several up before that this year. He could get real hot here as the year ends out. Open wheel, we'll call it open wheel. We're just going to call it that. Not 410s, not two. We're just going to call it open wheel, okay? Freddie Raymer, that's right. I know, old Freddie Raymer. Had a good finish. He had a good finish there. He's right around it. He may be finding some speed. We'll see, but we're going to give it to him. Mods, we'll go with Drake Troutman. How can you not? I mean, the guy went in, 2 star-studded fields Friday night, Saturday night. The fabulous Bedford Fairgrounds Speedway. He parks it in Victory Lane. What a spectacular night in honor of his dad. So, upcoming. Sealings Grove. If you haven't heard, I'm going to tell you. They've scratched and canceled Friday night show. This Friday, they've canceled that show. There was a power outage. We were there. We covered the race, did some pit walkies. There was a power outage that affected a lot of different things, not the lights, but it did affect a lot of other things. And apparently there's a big dig going on right now and to try to repair that with the power company. So they've pulled the plugs for Friday. They're going to announce who their champions are. Once they tally up the points officially, they'll announce that, I'm sure, in the next couple days right there in the various classes. Super late models, limited late models, or street stocks, la. It was, in fact, supposed to be championship night this Friday night. Path Valley. Well, I'm going to tell you, the quarter-mile bull ring, she ain't going to disappoint. This Sunday, Kubota High Limit 410s are in the house. That's right. Brad Sweet, Reitzel, Rico, the list could go on and on and on and on. But they're in town. That's right. And it is going to be a splendid show. I can assure you that at the quarter-mile bull ring and spring run. Late models are my first love, obviously, but I won't miss a 410 show up there because they get around the racetrack. So get there early if you're going. Get yourself in there because she's going to be packed, I can assure you. More packed than what 410 Sprint Speed Week was up there. It's going to be packed. That's this Sunday. There's no racing at Path Valley Saturday night, just Sunday night. Potomac, Fall Clash. Potomac, Darrell Hills Memorial. 10,000 smackers lies there for that guy or girl who parks it in Victory Lane on Saturday. That's right. This Saturday, Budds Creek, Potomac, Fall Clash, Darrell Hills Memorial, 10,000 to win. A lot of heavy guns are already pre-enrolled, and they're going to be there. So we're going to see some good racing there. Winchester, crates. It appears that they got a crate show for 2,000 and a pretty good sized pure stock show one that they're going to be having there Saturday night. They only have, I believe, one more show after that, and maybe, I don't know. I have to double check. I think this one and another one, and that's it. October 31st and November 1st, don't forget, your Carlisle Flea Market, your race swap meet will be going on. That's right, October 31st, Halloween, and November 1st, you're going to have a swap meet there. So that'll get you all your parts, your spare stuff, and get up there and sell it. YouTube, go to Elbows Up Dirt Productions, subscribe. Once 30 days is up, they kick the videos off Facebook, so we bank them onto YouTube. Get over there and subscribe. The Maryland Stock Car Hall of Fame, November 16th. I tell you, we were there last year. It's a good event. It's a reunion. A lot of people, a lot of memorabilia. It's the 16th, 12 to 5 p.m. at Odenton Fire Department, right? I usually say Odenton, like a Kyle Lear's probably rolling. There you go. Okay, so Odenton Fire Department. You can go on the Maryland Stock Car Hall of Fame on Facebook. Link right over to a thing called Zaffe.com to get your tickets. Are $40 each. There's a lot of good times there. We'll be there again this year doing some MC work and all that good stuff. Excellent event. Excellent. November 9th, I have released it. It's on Facebook. Our sponsorship seminar. Seats are filling up pretty quick. I can tell you that. It's adjacent to Greencastle at the I-81 interchange in a place called Shady Grove. It's only less than 2 miles off the 81 interchange. It's 1 to 3:30, $60 a head. And I'm telling you, there's a ton of great information on securing and maintaining good sponsorship in your racing business, because you got to treat it like a business. So give me a look, message me. My email's on there, my phone's on there. Contact, get with me. We'll get you registered in the class. On Track with Mike. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 6:00. He has Taylor Farling on. That'll be a good episode. 93.7 FM, or go On Track with Mike on Facebook. He'll be airing it live. Our next show with a guest in the House of Dirt will be Thursday, October 9th. That's right. Mark your calendars. Thursday, October 9th. And then we got some special series we're going to be running through the fall and winter. One of them's called Beyond the Tech Shed. We're going to talk about a lot of, well, not a lot, but several rules out there. Tires, imagine that, tire wars, right? And 525 motors. We're going to have some discussions on both of those items on Beyond the Tech Shed here this fall and winter. So that's what I have tonight. Elbows Up Dirt Productions. The bottom line again, brought to you by Chaz's Logistics. We thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. You have a great week. God bless. Love one another. Get out to your local racetracks and tell them we're here to see Elbows Up. We'll see you then.